With Halloween approaching, let's take a look at some spooky LED neon signs. Yes, I know it's not real neon, but it's the same sort of visual effect. And these are two completely different constructions. It's quite interesting. This one runs on either USB or 3 AA cells, and it draws 200 milliamps, which is pretty good. This one draws a lot more. This one draws 700 milliamps and can run either on USB, or it comes with this very neat adapter that lets you just plug it straight into 3 AA's as a separate entity, so to speak. But the construction is completely different, because if we start by taking a look at the spooky ghost one, it's the classic frame with the LED neon type material stuck into it. You can see the hot little LED, well, not hot, not physically hot, but the bright green LED up the end there. So let's strip some of this back and we'll take a look at if they've got individual resistors. The other one is very different, because if you look at the back of this one, it's illuminated, but it's not bright. The other side, this one is just as bright. It's very much a double-sided thing. And the reason for that is that it's using LED tape, and it's using a 2-part plastic housing. So both of these offer options for retubing with your choice of color and voltage of LED tape. And also with this one, yeah, you can do the same thing by actually putting, well, theoretically, I mean, we'll open it and find out, LED tape inside. Things worth mentioning. This one here is a bit of an oddity. It uses a 10 ohm resistor, right, which is fine. At 5 volts, there's 3 volts dropped across the LEDs. That's 2 volts to drop across the 10 ohm resistor. Therefore, we get the 200 milliamps. But it's worth mentioning that the USB connector is connected directly to the battery contacts, effectively, which means that if you plug it into USB while there's batteries in it, it's going to try and reverse charge those batteries. Well, it will try and charge them up. If they were nickel metal hydrides, it would charge them up at very high current, because the only thing that would limit the current would be the cable and the output of this. But if it was alkaline batteries you had in it, it could make them explode. Just worth mentioning that. Batteries or USB, but don't use batteries in that while you're powering it from USB. This one gets around that problem by using its nifty little adapter, because you effectively can't, if you get this plugged into USB, then it's not connected to this. Right here, let's take a look at this one. I shall unplug it. It's quite nice. This one is also very light compared to that one, because this one's based on the heavy rubbery neon material. And I'm hoping this one isn't glued together. Where's my spudger? Let's get the spudger in. I can see there are little pillars. If it's not glued, it will actually start prizing apart. But this could take quite some time. Actually, it's not too bad, is it? Oh, it's got a resistor per LED. Okay, let's keep going. Actually, you know what? This will take a while. This would be an annoyingly long time. So I shall pause momentarily. 1 moment, please. The cover is off, courtesy of the trusty spudger. Quite difficult, because although these popped out, they weren't glued, although they popped out easily enough. It was the getting the ones on the actual inner piece, because the outer frame was in the way, but it still came off relatively easily, and I don't think I broke a single pin. I think they're all intact, so it'll go back together easily. Inside is 6mm LED tape. The incoming supply with the blob of hot melt glue to hold it in place there is just tacked onto the pads, and each of these is a 180 ohm resistor in series with the LED, which means that the current per LED is about 6.5 milliamps, which is actually reasonable enough. That's fine. It doesn't have to be running them at the full whack, and that's lower current, although 700 milliamps might seem a lot for this thing. Keep in mind that that's 700 milliamps times, well, let's work out the power of the whole thing, including resistors. So 5 volts times 0.7 means the whole thing is about 3.5 watts. It's not really that bad. It's going to get warmish, but it's not going to bake the LEDs. The LED tape, this type of LED tape is often done in 500mm sections. So you can see a bridge point here where they've just coincidentally had one. But also they've cut it at the bridge point, and then they've spliced it on just by soldering across onto the blue. So the pink splits down 2 ways. It goes down this way and ends at the bottom here. And then it goes down that way, splices onto the blue. The blue goes round here, wraps round and comes back and then ends here. It's very neat. It's very stylish, a nice simple construction. It's relying on the fact because it's emitting sideways, the light bounces around inside the housing and then comes out the, well, comes out the front. In this case, it's not coming out the front because the back's off, and it needs the LEDs to shine against this surface here to bounce the light inside. Okay, that's good. A nice construction. Nicely made. Hackable. The 6mm-ish LED tape, you could theoretically line it with new tape of your own choice if you wanted to give it a colour upgrade. You could also switch it to 12 volt possibly if you just managed to make it work in or lose a bit in there. So it's got, you know, options. The Spooky Ghost. The Spooky Ghost was quite impressive because the LED tape in here has no resistors. It's just a parallel string of LEDs, which is why they've got the resistor in the battery pack. There is a little bus bar running through here inside this to help spread the current along to avoid excessive intensity drop along the tape. But if we zoom in on this a little bit, you can see the LEDs are just in parallel, and the end one there, which is now off, had been chopped in half, but they just barely missed the chip, so it was still lit. That's why it looked so bright from the end. They just basically cut it to length, and because it is such a close array of LEDs, even if the end one got cut off completely, it would still kind of glow and fill in that end of the sort of neonish type effect. So it's quite nice. These are very affordable devices. These all came from Temu, surprise, surprise. And they weren't that expensive. I would provide a link, but the Temu seem to stock stuff and then run out and then just put up new listings. But nice. These things all present a sort of like a hackability for modifying and customizing or inspiring in the ways to actually use the material from either just the actual sort of like the solid core LED neon type material, or just using LED tape in these custom plastic housings. Very smart, very neat.